In the empty arena, the only sounds are the echoes of anticipation of a thundering crowd that will descend upon the Halifax Metro Center. The stage is set. A national championship awaits. For St. Francis Xavier head coach Steve Konchalski, the journey here has been like a long train running. 17 years at the helm of the Antigonish School, his first ever shot at a national championship. For McMaster head coach Joe Rasso, his journey here has been on a bullet train, one step from the championship on his very first try. Both coaches will live through their centers. McMaster's Jack Vanderpool has been awesome. 28 points, 18 rebounds in the semifinal win over Concordia. X's Richard Bella has been the sleeping giant of the tournament. He has 28 points too, in 2 games. Today, it's Mac. It's X. It's Jack Vanderpool. It's Richard Bella. It's 2 head coaches seeking their first ever CIAU Men's Basketball Championship. It's the national final, and it's next on TSN. TSN presents the CIAU Men's Basketball Championship. Today's game from the Metro Center in Halifax is brought to you by Geo. Get to know Geo at a Chevrolet Geo dealer near you. And by Reebok, the world's greatest athletes wear Reebok. Inside the Metro Center, a madhouse today, and X marks the spot as the St. Francis Xavier X-Men take on the McMaster Marauder. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Metro Center and the CIAU Men's Basketball Championship. I'm Gord Miller. At the start of this tournament, neither McMaster or St. Francis Xavier were considered favorites to be here. And yet, here they are, both schools seeking their first national championship. The crowd will be decidedly pro-X, as Antigonish is about 2 hours down the road. But don't count out McMaster, a school that has walked a long road all year long to get to this point. Here's how they got here. First of all, St. Francis Xavier beat 3rd-ranked Calgary, then hung on for a tough win over 7th-ranked Ottawa in its semifinal game yesterday. For McMaster, it was a victory over 4th-ranked Brandon, and then the come-from-behind upset win over top-ranked Concordia in the second semifinal last night. Concordia led the game by 13 at one point, but with 13 seconds left and McMaster trailing by 1, guard Mark Sontrop went the length of the floor and put it over 2 Concordia defenders to give McMaster the winning basket and a berth in today's final.
Well, Coach wanted to have a design play that was either going to me or Zauner or Howard, and the lane was open, so I took it to the hole. It was open, so got to take it.
Brian Heaney joins me now. 2 Cinderellas. We'll see who the slipper fits today. You coached here in this arena, St. Mary's, a national championship back in '78. Obviously, the atmosphere is electric. How does it go today?
Well, it's going to be a magnificent afternoon. X-fans really want their first national championship in history. The AUAA is going to bring support in from other schools as well, but MAC wants to bring the 3rd straight title back to OUAA West.
All right, we got a great war inside. McMaster has an all-Canadian Jack Vanderpool running the middle, and he has been a one-man gang in this tournament.
Well, he's a tremendous worker. He's probably the hardest working inside player in the CIAU, a first-team All-Canadian. He bangs the boards. He's an adept scorer, and he really is the leader on the inside game of MAC. He's got to stay in the game for them to bring it all the way home.
On the other side, Richard Bella from St. Francis Xavier. We have not seen him at his best yet, but if he is today, it's a war in the paint.
Well, Bella is a tremendous leaper, and he's a mammoth physical presence inside. He's going to go head-to-head with Vanderpool early in the game. The key is for Bella to stay out of foul trouble. If he stays out of foul trouble, X can get the ball to him, and he'll be a tough, dominant force.
A key factor in this basketball game may very well be three-point shooting, and Jeff Zauner is one of the best in the nation.
Absolutely. We bring senior leadership and a lot of poise to the perimeter game of McMaster. He's best off the pass. He doesn't lay the ball down very well and come up for the jump shot, but if he gets free in the offense and they put the ball in his hands facing up, he can shoot as good as anybody in the country.
There was a lot of substituting in yesterday's game, but Brian Lee went the distance for X.
Well, he played all 40 minutes, and that's an attestament to his senior leadership. A third-year player, he anchors the backcourt. He makes all the decisions, bringing the ball up the court. They rely on Lee to get the ball to Bella.
It's a madhouse in here, as we mentioned, and in the midst of it is Jamie Bowen. Jamie?
Thank you, Gord. They're expecting 10,000 exuberant St. FX fans in this building today, and the noise will be deafening. Now, as much as St. FX fans can give X that adrenaline boost, it's important to remember that Steve Konchalski and St. FX will be under a tremendous amount of pressure because this crowd will accept nothing less than a national championship. Gord?
Jamie, football's a tough game. Maybe you should have brought your helmet to this one today. Ryan, what's the key to the ball game tonight?
The key to the ball game is both Bella and Vanderpool have to stay out of foul trouble. Both coaches would like to see the national championship won with both of those great players in the lineup all game long.
It's St. Francis Xavier and McMaster. Feel the thunder because there's plenty of it. The CIAU Men's Basketball Championship is coming up next, live on TSN. It's St. Francis Xavier and McMaster seeking the national championship. This crowd of about 10,000, partisan for St. Francis Xavier as AUAA fans stick together and hope to root Steve Konchalski to a first national title. Brian, here's the starting lineup. Well,
Mark Sontrop is a leader in the backcourt, only a second-year player, but he's taken over the leadership. He's a great point guard. Derek Howard is a senior guard. He shoots the ball very well from the outside, and he's also a great penetrator if the defense closes him out. Jeff Zauner, one of the best three-point shooters in the CIAU. If St. FX does not bring Zauner under control in transition, he can bury the three and be a factor in the outcome of the game. And Sean Francis is one of the best athletes in the game today. You're going to see him make some exciting moves. He bangs the boards from a rebounding point of view and takes it hard to the goal. Jack Vanderpool was everybody's all-everything in the OUAA West this year. First-team All-Canadian, a mammoth rebounder, and a strong inside player offensively.
And for St. Francis Xavier in the backcourt, starting with Mark Corrigan.
Mark Corrigan fills in on the perimeter very well and complements Brian Lee and Merrick Palmer off the bench. At 8 points a game, but those 8 points usually are very important baskets. Brian Lee's senior leadership for St. FX, a smart basketball player. The ball will be in his hands most of the time coming off the court. As he goes in transition, the X-Men go. Sean McLean starts the game, usually doesn't play very much, but he brings inside attack, and he also is a fine shooter for a big man. He's a good rebounder, and he should get extra minutes today. Guy Bongo is a great compliment to Bella. He had an outstanding game, 25 points in the opening game of the tournament. A great leaper, maybe the best athlete overall on the X's team. And Richard Bella is a mammoth player. If he comes to play today, it's going to be a fan's delight. He blocks the shot, he's a tower of strength inside, and he's the inspirational leader for not only the X basketball team, but possibly for this partisan crowd today.
We talked about the two head coaches in the opening. Joe Ratso in his first year, Steve Konchalski in his 18th. We asked them what this national final means to them.
I felt very satisfied, happy for the players. But, you know, also, I was very happy for St. FX because I've been there for 18 years, and St. FX is in my heart. And we at St. FX have had some tough times of late. You know, Father George Keogh, who was the athletic director there for so many years, died tragically in a car accident. And Father Keogh meant so much to me. He not only was my boss for 17 years, but he married my wife Charlene and myself. He baptized my children. And that was a tremendous personal loss as well as a tragedy to the whole university. And then, you know, all the news about the football program being dropped and then resurrected, and So it's been kind of a doomsday type of an atmosphere, if you will, kind of saying when's something going to go right. And I'm happy to be, to have a chance to do something positive for the university community and something we can rally around and feel good about.
We felt we deserved to be here. We didn't come in the way we wanted to by winning our conference. We wanted, in regular season, but not in postseason. Not many people, I think, gave us the hope that we would get here. When the call came in, I was excited. I was excited for our players. Our seniors who thought it was all over for them to play their last game, finish not the way they wanted to finish. I was really, really excited for them. I might have some other opportunities. I hope I do. But I was thrilled, especially for the seniors. That's one thing I think you learn at this level. Those fifth-year seniors, the student athletes, the volunteers, put so much into it, and they're the key. And I think that's what you feel excited for.
Stony Creek, Ontario, Roger Caulfield from Falmouth, Nova Scotia, and Les Saunier from London, Ontario.
The officials for today's game, Guy Cipriani is from Hamilton, Roger Caulfield from Falmouth, Nova Scotia, and Les Saunier from London, Ontario. They may have their hands full inside, Brian, because both these teams play very physical basketball.
Well, that's right. The tendency usually is to call the game tight at the outset of a big game, so the referees put it under control. But it will be a disappointment if either Vanderpool or Bella for X gets in foul trouble early in the game. People want to see these players play, and we mentioned at the top of the show, the coaches want the outcome to be decided with their best players in the lineup.
The AUAA has not won the CIAU title since 1979 when St. Mary's did it. The OUAA West seeks its third straight national championship. Brock won it last year, Western 2 years ago. St. Francis Xavier will wear the blue uniforms. It'll be McMaster in white, and right away we'll see Bella against Vanderpool for the opening tip. And this is the battle we'll be watching all day long, and it's Bella who gets it to the backcourt to Brian Lee.
Okay, now right away, Vanderpool on Bella inside.
And Vanderpool rejects the pass. And quickly, Sontrop brings it up the floor for McMaster. And it's quickly stolen away by Sean McLean, just as quickly. 2 turnovers to open the ball game, maybe some nerves.
Well, good move by St. X, too, because Mac likes to move the ball in transition up the sideline. Probably the scouting report said that X had to close that pass out a little early. McLean did a good job.
Bongo shot is short. Vanderpool with the first rebound. Downer inside to Sean Francis. Francis off the dribble. Won't go. Bongo with the rebound. McLean with the short jumper. It won't go. And this time it's Francis with the rebound, and he can leap in there too. Zauner open for 3. Yes!
That's his specialty. He comes to the national final and immediately establishes himself in transition. St. X has to close Zauner out. If he gets that shot, he'll drain it all game long.
And it was 2 threes by Zauner in the semifinal yesterday that brought McMaster back from a 13-point deficit. He quickly cut it in half. Playing inside. Bella. And Bella went right around Vanderpool.
A lot of quickness by the inside players. Sean Francis from Mac made a move along the baseline, and then Bella drives by Vanderpool. These players are, they're mobile. They have lateral mobility. They lay the ball down, take it to the basket.
Howard had it tipped away. Ryan Lee on the break. And X lead. The top of the 3. And the shot won't go for Derek Howard. Quick outlet to Corrigan. And Mark Corrigan, who had his moments in the semis yesterday, has it knocked away by Vanderpool, but there's Bella for it. And Bella over Zauner as his second bucket of the game.
Richard Bella gets a hometown bounce, but he's got a soft touch inside, so if he gets it on the rim, he'll get the favorable bounce now and then. No, Bella coming off a couple of games where he's had inconsistent playing minutes. To get off to a quick start is a major factor for St. X.
And Vanderpool answers back with a surprising shot for him, and he's very good at it. 10 to 15 feet. He's got a nice touch.
Well, Joe Rasso likes his turnaround jumper, and he'll take it into Bella's face, because one of the things that could lead to is Bella getting off his feet and committing early fouls. So Vanderpool is going to turn and use that weapon against Bella early in the half.
Bella misses that time, and it goes right to Bongo. Corrigan. And Vanderpool with the rebound. Vanderpool, the only player in the CIAU this year to have more than 200 rebounds.
And that comes not only as a result of talent, but hard work. He's working on every shot and on every defensive play, banging the boards.
Francis with the nice weight and then the bucket. And the lead changes one more time, 7-6 McMaster. Good pace early. Lee driving in on Derek Howard, and the charge is called on Brian Lee.
Good play. Lee made a quick move to the basket, but Derek Howard had good defensive position, and Lee tried to get through by lowering the shoulder. Howard was there, and he put the shoulder right on the numbers. Right here, you can see Howard taking a hit. Here comes Brian Lee. He goes and leaves the shoulder in right there and knocks Derek Howard out. He had his feet set, and he was in front of the ball.
And Cesare Piccini checks into the game now for McMaster, a defensive specialist who did a job down the stretch. Also coming in for McMaster is Paul Maga. And Joe Razzo will substitute freely.
Very much so. He'll play 8-9 players. They all make a contribution. He's got a lot of confidence in his bench.
Sontrop with the leader that won't go, but firing it is Lance Postma, who is also coming into the game for the Marauders. Now a three-point lead for Mac. They lay it inside for Bella, and the foul is called inside on Cesare Piccini.
Now, you look at the lob pass here, Bella, but look at all the white shirts moving to the basketball. By the time Bella comes down, he's surrounded by Mac players. The disadvantage of the long lob pass is that the help defenders can get around you by the time you catch it.
A good early start. McMaster is leading by 3. We'll return in just a moment.
A great timeout for Joe Rasso. When he's talking about closeout, he means get out to the shooter early and bring defensive pressure to him. Also, helping down and covering down means when the ball goes inside, collapse and surround Bella. The 50 series will be defensive pressure at different levels. He said on a make, we'll go 55, so probably you'll see some kind of a trap or a zone trap. You have to keep an eye on it if McMaster scores the basket. See if they leave the defense full.
Vanderpool back into the game now for McMaster, and he might need some rest after playing a long time in a late semifinal game last night. Wrapped up around midnight local time. Corrigan's shot won't go, and the rebound is quickly scooped up by McMaster and Sheldon Laidman. Open is Francis. And the reverse off the glass.
As promised, an acrobatic move. Sean Francis goes to the basket and gets off his feet, as well as anybody in this game, including the big guys. Inch for inch, he's probably the best leaper.
And McMaster has accomplished one goal. It has silenced this crowd to some degree. Bella, strong to the hoop, won't go. And it's McMaster ball as Bella can't control the loose ball.
Well, that didn't drop, but Steve Konchowski's got to be happy with that kind of an aggressive move by Bella.
Key substitution now for St. Francis Xavier. Merrick Palmer comes in along with Jason Hurdle, and Palmer has been a big key to St. Francis Xavier's success. And
this is standard fare for St. X. Steve Konchowski manages his substitutions this way. About 5 minutes into the game, Palmer and Hurdle come in.
And the shot for Sontrop won't fall. Back comes X with Merrick Palmer. First-year player from Scarborough, Ontario, gets it inside, and away they go. And Jason Hurdle, the hero of a semifinal win in the AUAA, strikes for X.
Hurdle's a tough and he's a gutsy player. He takes it right to the big man.
Vanderpool over Bella. Won't go. Bongo with the rebound. Quickly to Palmer, 2-on-1. Palmer does it himself. And they call the block. Mark Sontrop.
The block charge, always one of the most controversial calls in basketball. The defensive player's got to be set. Here's Merrick Palmer, feet down, looked like Sontrop had position, but the referee's right on the spot. It's tough to see from the sideline.
And Palmer goes to the line for St. Francis Xavier, a 72% free throw shooter during the regular season.
When Jason Hurdle and Merrick Palmer come in the ballgame for St. X, their defense quickens up a little bit.
Basically 3 guards in the game now for X, Palmer, Lee, and Hurdle. A smaller lineup. Palmer hits them both and pulls his team within 1.
Sheldon Laidman checks back in now for McMaster. Zauner open. The three won't go. Francis quickly rebounds. Zauner will try again for three. Again off the iron. Vanderpool, the rebound. It's short. And Francis underneath. Off the glass and in. 3 rebounds, 4 chances to score for McMaster.
Can't do it. Now that's the downside of having a guard-oriented offense in the game. Both Lee and Merrick Palmer were on the sidelines, and Bella was left all alone to go against 4 guys. You've got to get the defensive rebound.
Hurdle. They look inside for Bella. And it's a turnover, McMaster ball. I mentioned Jason Hurdle a moment ago. In the AUAA semifinals, he had a 3-pointer at the buzzer as X beat Cape Breton. And that's the shot they're still talking about, and Hurdle likely won't forget for a long, long time.
That's right. They call it the miracle shot.
3-on-1. Here they come. Lee. Palmer. Over the top, but it won't go. A foul inside. And they've called it there, I believe, on Laidman. So a foul away from the ball.
Look here, nice hang by Merrick Palmer. He took the defensive player by him and then made the double clutch and put it on the glass.
McMaster fouls Sheldon Laidman, his first, team foul number 3.
Blair White comes into the game for St. Francis Xavier. Zauner checks out as well. So Maga is back in there now for McMaster. Palmer couldn't find anyone. Drives the baseline and now kicks it back up. And Bella working inside. And the foul is on Cesare Piccini.
Jack Vanderpool is setting defensive position up behind Richard Bella. And with his kind of strength and width, he's a wide body inside. He can give a lot of resistance to Bella. It's tough for Bella to go by him. If he fronts him, then you create the situation where you can throw the lob pass to Bella, and he's so big and he jumps so well, that would be the advantage to X.
Bella, a 58% free throw shooter during the season, is very streaky. Gets 1 of 2 there. Team fouls, McMaster has 4, X just 1. Laidman loses control, gets it back, and now Howard scrambles back to pick it up.
One of the things McMaster does very well is they spread the court sideline to sideline and really space the defense out, and then they've got a lot of capability to penetrate into the paint. They drive the basketball on a dribble into the blue paint as well as any team in the tournament has done that.
Turnover gives X a chance to tie it up or take the lead. Bella well out from his usual spot. Palmer open. And walks the rim, and Maga with a quick rebound. Howard to Piccini inside, trying to get around Bella to Vanderpool, and Vanderpool strikes over Bella.
Great interior passing by McMaster. Piccini has great fundamentals. Joe Rasso likes him a lot, says he might have the best offensive moves of all the inside postmen on McMaster.
Hurdle had a chance to shoot, but thinks better of it. Lee. Walks the rim. Bella the rebound off the glass. And the 2 big men really staying away from each other under the glass.
Well, that time Vanderpool stepped in front of him to try to deny the pass, and the shot went up. Bella turned around and had him on his back.
Howard drives the lane, and it goes.
Garrett Howard.
See, the perimeter defense for St. X is crucial in the game. They've got to bring the basketball under control before it gets to the 3-point line, and then they've got to deny dribble penetration.
Inside is on Sheldon Laidman. His second.
Now watch here. Bella gets the basketball. Look at 4 white shirts, and he has to get up vertically and get the basketball on the backboard. But Bella's finding that not only does he have to battle Vanderpool, but the whole MAC team.
And Richard Bella goes back to the line as Laidman checks out. And Vanderpool will take a rest as well. So 2 early fouls on Laidman.
Well, normally you'd be concerned about that, but Joe Rasso substitutes so freely deep into his bench that shouldn't be a factor at this stage of the game.
Bella, one of 3 players on this X team who was a native of the Central African Republic. Steve Konchalski met the head coach in that country at the '88 Seoul Olympics, and the 3 players came over wanting to play in North America. Maga from the corner. It won't go, but he saves it. Works in the paint, back to Francis. And Francis gets his own rebound. Lots of chances inside for McMaster, and the foul is called on Hurdle.
You know, Joe Razzo, the head coach at McMaster, described his team in an interview yesterday as a blue-collar team. He says, we just come to work and work, and so far on the backboards, McMaster has had the work ethic. They're getting more than one shot because they're banging the boards and doing the job on the offensive rebounds.
Timeout on the floor with McMaster leading by 3. We'll be back.
Well, I think that's probably a good step forward. You can see the decision-making process sometimes in the CIAU is a little bit slower than the coaches would intimate to you here, the demand for urgency. But the reason for that is you've got schools going from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and a lot of things have to be taken into consideration, not the least of which is finances.
And the possibility of a 16-team CIAU championship tournament has been raised. Vanderpool in the paint, working on Bella. Off the glass and in.
Great concentration inside for Vanderpool, and clearly he's not intimidated by Bella's reputation at all. He's turning, squaring, and taking the ball right to him.
And Bella goes around Vanderpool, but he can't make it fall, and Vanderpool gets the rebound.
You know, it's interesting, when you're inside, you got to use the backboard. The backboard is your ally, and Richard Bella makes the strong move, but then he's got to be so delicate when he lets the ball go, it bounces off the rim.
And Vanderpool loses control in the air as Bella played some good defense inside. 2 big men doing battle. And here's Bella again, loses control. Howard scrapping for it, but Brian Lee comes up with it. Lee quickly to Bongo, nice pass inside.
Classic play by Brian Lee. Bongo, good hands, turns and puts it up. When the guards penetrate to the paint, it causes all sorts of problems for the defense.
Francis, top of the key, working on Bongo, and off the glass. That's another great matchup, Francis on Bongo.
That's right, both athletes are similar. They're both strong, about 6'4" or 6'5". They both leap very well, and they're going to go head-to-head for most of the afternoon.
And both play in the shadow of big men, the foul on Bongo.
And that's one of those situations where, who did you catch first? Because both were elbowing, pushing, demanding. If you catch inside, number 42, look at him go over the top, and Bongo puts his elbow up, probably as much to catch the basketball as to catch Sean Francis, but the ref was right there. He gets the foul.
Foul on Bongo is his first. Howard drives, his defender slipped, and it's an easy layup as Lee slipped on the court. Seven-point McMaster lead.
Right there, freshman Jason Hurdle coming all the way. Jack Vanderpool, there's the experience and the guts. He moves over, plants his defensive feet, gets his hands straight up, and draws the charge.
Hurdle's second foul.
And you wonder how many of those Jack Vanderpool has seen in his 5-year career. He sees a lot of people penetrating toward the basket, an easy play for him to react to.
To the corner to Howard. Off the rim. And quickly Palmer gets to Lee. One man back. And Lee's scoop shot won't go. Vanderpool walks right in and gets the catch. Sontrov's pass ticked out of bounds by Merrick Palmer. We talked about foul trouble, and ironically, neither of the big men has a foul yet, but 2 other smaller players, Laidman and Hurdle, both have 2 fouls. And Hurdle will now check out of the ball game.
Well, yeah, Steve Konchowski relies on Jason Hurdle. He's a tough player, and he certainly doesn't want him to get 3 fouls in the first half, so Bargan comes back in for him.
Francis kicks it back up to Sontrop from a long way out, and it won't go. Vanderpool gets the rebound. Over Bella.
Jack Vanderpool.
I'll tell you, Vanderpool is everywhere. He's on the defensive boards. He's on the offensive boards. I've never seen a player with a nose for the basketball like Jack Vanderpool.
Palmer off the glass, and good. And lead is down to 7. Quickly outlet it to Howard, and he's drilled by White. Blair White nailed him out of bounds.
Well, Matt could convert so quickly from the defensive end into transition. One of the problems St. FX is going to have in the afternoon is getting the offense stopped early enough. They can't afford to play fast break basketball up and down with this McMaster team. Max simply substitutes too much, and they're playing 9 or 10 players.
White in the game in place of Richard Bella, who will take a rest now for St. Francis Xavier. And mass substitutions now by Joe Rasso.
Well, not only is McMaster used to this, but I was talking to one of the coaches yesterday. They have shoot-arounds on game day. Second day of a tournament, you have to appreciate the fact that Mac got in late because of the weather. They played a great first game against Brandon. They played a tough second game. They had shoot-around yesterday. They ran full-court layups for an hour straight. No standing around and shooting. They went full out. Then they played a tough game late last night, and they're back here today. So the depth that Joe Rasso has served him well at tournament time.
Perhaps the most difficult part of the week for McMaster was the flight into Halifax, a harrowing journey where their plane pitched violently as it approached, and players still talking about that today. And not looking forward to their trip out of town, if it would be anything like coming in. Howard missed them both. We'll see how X does with Bella back in the game now. And Vanderpool on the bench. Bella inside for White. And you can see how McMaster misses Vanderpool inside.
Very much so. They drop off when Vanderpool's out of the ballgame, but Richard Bella made a nice pass. You know, for a big man to have to spin, turn, and accept that defensive pressure and then find his teammate wide open is an excellent move.
Pacini, maybe one pass too many, and here comes X. And Palmer will wait to get some help. 25-20 with 8 minutes to play in the first half. Palmer open. And it won't go. Rebounded by Lance Postman. Maga in the corner, and it's a travel call against McMaster as Maga bobbled the basketball. 25-20 is the score. 7:45 to play in the first half of the CIAU National Championship.
Shouldn't be gambling out here because they're going to penetrate into the guts of the zone. Stay tight. Stay tight between the man and the basket. Right? Now the big men, they're going to fill the corners with their shooters. Big men have to get out there. And we got to get a weak side block out. Right now on offense, Vanderpool's out of the game. Right now, and he's coming back in now. We want to be patient enough to get the ball inside. Blair's working out of the high post area. Richie's working low. All right? Be patient enough to get the ball reversal, then look for your move. But I want a couple of ball reversals first because we're the foul. Look, it's 5-5 now. We haven't taken advantage of it enough. Keep pounding it inside. It worked last night. Keep pounding it inside.
Look away, because you're being blocked. I'm going to look away. You cut right away. I'm going to look away. That's the swing guy. You cut really quick. I'm going to look from you because you're 2 or 3 men on you.
Okay, so in other words, when Blair gets us in here, Richie, you're here. Blair's here. When he gets it here, he's going to reverse it right away, and he's going to hold up his cut, and you come right across. Right? This look.
Okay, Brian, translation.
Well, Steve Konchowski on the defensive end, he wants St. FX to stay tight on their man, between their man and the basket. And that's really important because Derek Howard came down the court, gave a shake-and-bake move at the top of the key and got himself into the foul line. The secondary defensive player had to move up because he's an offensive threat there, and bang, he got an easy pass inside. Each man has to do his job.
Here's how Bella and Vanderpool have done so far. Pretty close, except Vanderpool has 7 rebounds, and neither man has taken a foul yet. Vanderpool back in the ball game now to go to war with Bella. Both teams have 5 team fouls. Palmer, shot won't go. Not even close, and Vanderpool was there to grab it. And ever since Downer hit that early 3, they've stayed very close to it.
And St. FX has gone to his zone defense now for the first time in the ballgame. So you're going to see how McMaster matches up against the zone.
Sontrop off the dribble. 1 second left on the shot clock. And did they get it away? Yes. Francis right at the buzzer. Kachelski thought he traveled. Francis now 5 for 6 from the field. Shot attempt by Corrigan is short. White came up with it. Palmer looking inside for Bella. There he is. Lays it in. Out the foul. And that's what they talked about. Vanderpool takes his first foul.
Well, that's right, and they reversed the basketball. See, Vanderpool denied Bella the ball, but he came back across the lane and beat him to the pass, and in turn not only got the basket, but drew the foul. A big play.
Next foul puts St. Francis Xavier into the bonus. And Bella goes to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
See, one of the mistakes most basketball teams make when they're trying to pound it in, pound it in, pound it into the inside is they declare a side, make the pass from the wing to the corner, and then try to feed the post. The best way to feed the post is to reverse the basketball around the court or to feed the post from the high post because there's no help defense inside.
Laidman to Francis cross court. That had to be a travel. And it was. As Sontrop took a walk.
Well, good closeout defense by St. X. They came out with their hands up, and Sontrop had to change his mind right in the middle of his move.
Bella and Vanderpool. Ooh, nice touch by Bella.
Nice touch, and Richard Bella can hit that shot from 10, 12 feet. He's got a nice soft touch on the baseline.
Francis working right down to the baseline. Zauner's open, but elects not to shoot. Vanderpool from a long way out. Not the big match.
Also, a great soft touch from the mid-range in the post.
Funny how the two big men seem to answer each other shot for shot. If it's a layup, if it's a long jumper, whatever it is, you get the sense that they know it's a personal battle too. And Francis takes the foul inside his first.
One of the things both big men are doing is as soon as they get the basketball, they're turning and squaring up facing the basket. Richard Bella displayed some quickness in driving past Jack Vanderpool.
Bella's third trip to the line.
Bishara Bella at the line for 2 shots.
Well, I guess if you're McMaster, you're happy that Bella is shooting the free throws because he's not St. Francis Xavier's best. And he completely missed there.
Well, he's a better shooter than that. That sometimes happens. You got to focus, and when you're working as hard as he is, sometimes you get a little bit fatigued, and he probably could use a break right here, but he'll come back.
Missed them both.
And you mentioned Gord, he's a streaky shooter at the foul line, and there's evidence of it right there.
2 for 7 now on the day. Hurdle intercepts that pass, which was deflected inside by Bella. Lee from the corner, yes. It's a 2. And timeout is called by McMaster with the score 29-26. Joe Rasso wants to talk it over in the huddle. And a good call for timeout because X is starting to get on the run.
Well, Joe saw something that he didn't like, so he's going to make an adjustment right here.
Let's listen in.
Jack, stop. Hold on. I want to start off through. If we go through corner, right? Let's get the duck hook. Low man flash. This guy seal. Go to Jack's side, and we got the seal. We're getting the ball. Geez, we're taking too much time. We're getting reversed, and we're waiting. We're stepping in and shooting it. Down there defensively was the only time we haven't closed out on a player. It can't happen. You must close out. Offensively, when that thing gets reversed, Sonny, man, can that thing. Let the shot yours, your baby. You run it after the first duck. We're high-low. We're high-low. Right? First duck, reverse it high-low. Balance out, look to skip. Get that skip, you're going to have to hit some ball fakes. Need some ball fakes. Back. Stand here, line to a through. 1, 2, 3, win.
Sonny is Sontrop.
Well, if you can boil that down to one statement on offense, what Joe Rasso wants to do is against the zone defense that McMaster's facing, he wants to play against it and attack it through the post. So he wants the ball to reverse, but come back through the post and then look down inside, high-low against the zone defense. Defensively, Brian Lee's last jump shot, he said there was no closeout. That can't even happen even once. You got to have pressure on the perimeter defensively.